Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Jessica Harrington. Tonight on the Now Bakersfield, it helps a baby grow while in the mother's belly, giving that child the nutrients it needs. And now some moms are taking advantage of those nutrients by taking a placenta pill after the baby is born. We talked to a local mom and health expert about the potential benefits and risks. Plus, rain and snow forcing officials to shut down major roads today. We're looking at when it's expected to start warming up again. That's all ahead on the Now Bakersfield. Chris?
All right, let's get to our lineup here on the Now. And not many men get paid time off when their baby comes. One company's out with a new push for paternity leave, and you can benefit even if you don't work for them. One woman got stuck with a $16,000 hospital bill she didn't see coming. The action she's taking to stop surprise medical bills and how you can try to prevent it from happening to you. Breakdancing could soon be an Olympic sport. Yeah, seriously. So we're going to take a look at that, some of the other unexpected sports that have been added to the games, and a few that were once added and didn't really last that long.
Good evening. Many women wake up and take a pill in the morning they say is helping them regroup after pregnancy. But the ingredients are not what you may think or what you may expect. Now's Tori Cooper spoke to a mother about why they're ingesting life-supporting organs daily to help restore their bodies after birth. And she also spoke with a female health expert who has insight on the growing trend and the risks associated with it.
The placenta is the life-supporting organ for a fetus, but now many mothers in Bakersfield are consuming their placenta in pill form after they give birth. So I spoke with one company making the pills in Bakersfield, a women's health expert, and a mother here in Kern County to find out how they feel about taking these pills and the difference it's making in their lives after pregnancy. But we do want to warn you, some of the images you are about to see may be graphic for some viewers.
Hi, how are you guys? Good, good. I'm coming to grab the placenta.
The placenta is an organ that develops in a woman's uterus during pregnancy. It provides oxygen and nutrients to the baby and filters out waste from the baby's blood, according to OBGYN doctor Philip Melendez. But believe it or not, more mothers are choosing to consume their placenta for what some believe helps breast milk production, postpartum depression, and after pregnancy weight loss. Placenta encapsulation specialist Julianne Corona is making the process for new mothers providing placenta pills with her mommy-made encapsulation home business.
So that's baby's lifeline right there. Once the placenta leaves the hospital, as odd as it sounds, the placenta is considered a consumable. So OSHA becomes a governing agency that oversees, so it's OSHA's safe food handling.
But it certainly doesn't look like your everyday food option.
I can't just do it. So that is what the placenta looks like.
And Corona's passion for the placenta started with her own pregnancy.
When I became pregnant with my now 3-year-old, I heard about it oddly on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. And so it piqued my interest. I started looking into it, seeing what all the benefits were, and it was amazing. And so I looked to see who could do it here in our community, and there was nobody offering the service.
So to give women like her in Bakersfield the option, she obtained her license to transform placenta like this one we just picked up into pill form for $150.
There is a company that is called PBIU, which is Placenta Benefits. And then I also went and got further training through a fellow placenta encapsulation specialist and trained with some midwives as well.
According to Kern County Public Health, there are no California laws or regulations that have any provisions specific to human organ consumption or processing. According to Corona, she also obtained her OSHA Safe Food Handling certification so she could open up her own lab inside her home.
And the training that I did, we do traditional Chinese medicine, and the way that is different compared to like the smoothies or raw is the fact that we cook it first.
Some women have reported eating their placenta raw or in a smoothie form. But Dr. Melendez says that is extremely unsafe because of the harmful bacteria that can live on the placenta. In order to kill bacteria, Corona sanitizes and cooks the placenta at 220 degrees.
Cook it for 30 minutes. And then from there, the placenta gets cut into smaller pieces, and those pieces get placed onto a dehydrator. They dehydrate for 12 hours, and then we crush them up into a powder form, and then we place them into flavored capsules for the mom and deliver it to her within 1 to 3 days after I pick up the placenta.
Dr. Melendez is now recommending the pills to his patients.
The more than 1,000 patients that Juliana had taken care of with the pills, not one of them had a bad adverse reaction. Everyone said all good things, including breast milk production, the decrease of chance of postpartum depression, and just the energy that the patients need after having a baby.
But according to the CDC report, quote, scientific evidence to support psychological and physical benefits is lacking, end quote. But thousands of experienced and new mothers in Kern County and across the nation willing to take their chances with their own placenta in the hands of Corona.
Why wouldn't I try it if it could help me?
Bakersfield resident and mother of 4, Sarah Yeager, taking that risk in hopes of reaping the benefits.
The first 2 I did not encapsulate my placenta with, and the last 2 I have. And I can tell you it's just like a night and day difference.
Yeager says after her first 2 pregnancies, both times she experienced postpartum depression after giving birth and was unable to breastfeed proficiently. After she became pregnant the 3rd time, she began looking for post-pregnancy alternatives.
I'm going to listen to other moms. I'm going to listen to people that have been through it personally rather than a doctor that has not personally done it or researched it really.
But Yeager still consulted her doctor before making her final decision.
And he was kind of like, if that's what you want to do. He wasn't against it, but he wasn't, like, oh yeah, giving me all these different scientific facts.
Ultimately, Yeager made the decision to encapsulate her placenta, and she says it made a substantial difference.
Then with my last 2, I have been able to fully breastfeed them. My 3rd was for almost 3.5 months, which is huge for me because the last 2 without the encapsulation was like 2 weeks.
Yeager says she also lost a significant amount of weight and parted ways with depression.
But with my last 2, I have had no sort of postpartum at all.
But the CDC says one mother in Oregon had a baby who contracted GBS.
It's a bacteria that's found in the vagina. The effect, ma'am, is baby can die. I've seen it more than once, so it's a very serious bacteria.
It is unclear in the CDC study where the baby contracted the GBS, but the CDC says the Oregon mom admitted to taking placenta pills shortly after giving birth. But Corona says in that case, proper decontamination methods weren't used.
Well, they did what's called the raw method of encapsulation, which means all they did was just rinse it off and then dry it out.
But Yeager and doctors both say you should do your research.
Yeah, I was skeptical. I think, everybody, should do their research.
Corona says one placenta can yield up to or more than 100 pills, and dosages are based on how each mom is feeling. Dr. Melendez also says out of the 30 patients he sees a day, at least one mom inquires about placenta encapsulation. However, neither Dr. Melendez or Corona recommend consuming other people's placentas for safety reasons. But for more information, head to our website, turnto23.com.
Let's start the news feed with something you typically don't see in Las Vegas, an inch of snow reported there. It's believed that this is the first time a weather event like this has happened since 1937. The Justice Department sending subpoenas to Johnson & Johnson. It's related to accusations asbestos contaminated its baby powder. The company says it plans to fully cooperate. Nike trying to figure out what went wrong with Duke Zion Williamson's shoe last night. It pretty much just blew up, exploded during the game, broke apart. Williamson now dealing with a mild knee sprain. Nike's statement said it's concerned and they wish him a speedy recovery. A Boston College study says that fewer than 1 in 5 men in the U.S. get paid paternity leave. Now, one company is organizing a new push to change that. And the Now Zandy Taylor shows us how you can benefit even if you don't work for them.
Dove Men's Cares is a new campaign that has two parts. So one is a pledge for paternity leave. Now this is to encourage men who have available leave to take all of it and spend time with their kids. Business leaders can also sign the pledge and promise to put paternity leave policies in place to help the men in their office. Now the second part is a $1 million paternity leave fund. It's designed to help those dads who don't already get paid. And you can apply for a $5,000 grant from the fund to help fill in the gap and allow you to stay at home. The application is right on Dove's website. Now, Reddit co-founder Alexis Ohanian helped launch the program. He and his wife, Serena Williams, have a 1-year-old daughter, and he actually took all 16 weeks paid paternity leave that he was offered when she was born. But he says it's important for all men to have the same option. Studies have shown time and time again that paid parental leave has a significant positive effect on both the health of the baby and also the mom.
Annie, thank you. Let's get another check of our lineup here. Look, hospital bills, they can be a huge surprise, really expensive, obviously, but there's a group that says it doesn't have to be like that, and it's taking action to try and stop surprise medical bills and how you can try to prevent it from happening to you. That's next. Have you ever heard of an ice guard? The Now's Chris Welch explains.
For 52 years, Tom Hollett has been scanning the water.
Just keeping an eye out.
But as a lifeguard here in Vancouver, Canada, that can also apply to frozen water.
I'd rather make 10,000 rescues in a warm ocean than one year.
See, this part of Canada, nestled between the Pacific Ocean and the North Shore Mountains, is the only part of the country where the average temperature stays above freezing, even in the winter.
You can see the pretty weak here right now.
Which means when lakes start to freeze over, it's a novelty. So people and their pets are tempted to, literally, tread on thin ice.
There's people that don't understand the ice, so they just figure they can walk on it.
And when the temps are colder, like they have been this week, Vancouver's Parks Department dubs a few of their summer lifeguards ice guards.
Lifeguards are always scanning and keeping an eye out, and so that's actually what our lifeguards do. When they come out to ice guard, they actually do a walking patrol around the lake. They also keep binoculars close at hand.
Believe it or not, I've saved many dogs. I grab their collar like this, reach out, bring them up on the ice.
I never heard of it before.
It may be a new concept for these park visitors, but it's definitely a welcome one.
If you need help, we're here.
Reporting for The Now in Vancouver, British Columbia, I'm Chris Welch.
Well, taking a live look at downtown Bakersfield, it doesn't look like it's as cold as Vancouver, but I mean, it felt that cold today, Allison.
Oh yeah, it definitely did. We were tracking this cold winter system that actually brought impressive amounts of rain across the county. So for us here in Bakersfield, just under 0.2 of an inch, but in Tehachapi, nearing 6 inches, and I just checked a camera out there, and it is snowing there. Just some light snow as we head into the overnight hours, because the back end of this system that we've been tracking is making its way through the county, just squeezing out any of its last moisture, really continuing until 10:30 tonight, and then that system is going to be clearing. And due to those clear skies, we are tracking much cooler temperatures. Actually, a freeze warning impacting the entire San Joaquin Valley beginning at 10 p.m. tonight, continuing until 9 a.m. on Friday. Overnight lows are going to be down to 34 degrees here in Bakersfield, but other areas in the valley could be seeing lows as low as 29 degrees. But look at this warming trend that we have in store. Cold temperatures Friday and Saturday, warming up to near seasonal by Monday. And take a look at this. 69 degrees on Thursday, 71 on Friday, which just happens to be March 1st, but we are tracking the potential to see some rain chances to begin your March, but just a beautiful and warming weekend ahead. The Now Bakersfield will be right back.
Let's start the Now newsfeed. Big name companies pulling ads from YouTube over pedophilia concerns. Video blogger raised concerns that pedophiles were using the platform to trade information. Nestle, one of the biggest names, to pause their ads. Well, why do zebras have stripes? Kind of sounds like a bad joke, but scientists putting some real time into this, and apparently it gets rid of flies. UC Davis scientists, they put striped coats on regular horses for a study, and horseflies seemed to dodge them more when they had those coats on. Well, New Jersey police saying that a school bus driver is now under arrest for ODing behind the wheel. Newark driver crashed into a tree. A dozen students were on board. None of them were injured. Police used Narcan to reverse her overdose. $3.65 trillion. That is how much Americans spent on health care last year, according to a new estimate from federal researchers. And actually, this is more than 4% higher than 2017. Now, it does come out to around $11,000 a person. And look, expensive hospital bills, well, many times they can just be accepted as a part of life. But experts say that it doesn't have to be that way, and they're trying to do something about it. It's the kind of situation nobody wants to be in.
About 3 years ago, I got really sick.
Jamisa Shutt ending up in the hospital.
I have to go to the emergency room in the middle of the night.
Not a long trip.
They did some x-rays, I think, maybe some morphine, gave me an antibiotic, and sent me home in like 2 hours maybe. You have pneumonia, go home.
But it turned out to be expensive.
A couple weeks later, I don't know when, I get a bill for $16,000.
Sticker shock she didn't see coming.
My thought is, well, I'm not a doctor or a medical person, so I'm trusting that this costs whatever they say it's going to cost.
David Silverstein sees it all the time.
So imagine if you went into a restaurant and you and I sat down at the same table, at the same time, with the same waiter, and we're each given the same menu with different prices on it. How would that make you feel? Well, this happens in healthcare every day.
He's the founder of the nonprofit Broken Healthcare, fighting to make sure patients aren't hit with what are called surprise bills.
Number one is ask a lot of questions and don't get frustrated by the answers. As a consumer, you have rights. So when they say we don't know, you tell them that's not good enough.
He says ask questions like if anyone doing the procedure is out of your insurance network.
Hand right in there, no out-of-network providers. Not willing to pay for it. If they don't disclose to you that somebody's out of network, then shame on them.
This year, the White House started requiring hospitals to list prices online. Problem is, those prices are listed without factoring in insurance, which complicates things even more.
It does not help 99% of the population, but it's a step in the right direction. We need transparency from both the providers and the insurance carriers.
When the president held this meeting last month, both David and Jamisa were by his side because they know this problem firsthand.
To have the president ask me what happened and why do you have this medical bill was pretty incredible.
And 3 years later, Broken Healthcare's attorneys are still fighting her bill.
It is a game, and Americans need to learn the rules of the game. They need to learn their rights and play the game to win until such time that our government officials do the right thing and change the rules so we don't have to play this sleazy game anymore.
All right, and say you still have a VCR, may just kind of be a piece of junk, maybe you just look at it as a nice historical piece to have in your home, but really one man's trash is another man's treasure, and this story proves that. Matt Shukri got a thank you letter from a stranger in the mail. It was an 86-year-old man who bought his VCR on eBay, and the man said that he was able to watch video from his retirement party for the first time and watch his wedding with family and friends, many of whom aren't around anymore. Now, Matt says that he never quite had a sell like this and never really intended to start selling on eBay in the first place.
Last summer, I got diagnosed with cancer and had to do all the treatments and everything, and I'm totally fine now. Everything's all good. But at the time, I was stuck on the couch a lot at home and was looking for something that I could do to help make ends meet and make a little extra money, and eBay was perfect because I could do it with very little bodily stress.
Matt is now offering to make the man digital copies of his tapes. Well, look, animal shelters, they do get creative when they're trying to encourage people to adopt. And take a look at what One Humane Society in Maine did, throwing a wedding for his 2 senior mixed breed dogs. They say Jack and Diane, they need to be adopted together because they have a bond. They are still available. All right, let's take a final check of our lineup here. In those years of trying to show off at high school dances with your breakdance moves, honestly could probably pay off because breakdancing could be coming to the Olympics. Yeah, we're taking a look at some of the other unexpected sports getting added to the games, as well as a few from the past that were pretty short-lived. That's when the Now continues. The iPhone's getting closer to eliminating the need for a purse or a wallet. The Wall Street Journal reporting that Apple and Goldman Sachs will launch a credit card soon. It'll be incorporated with Apple's Wallet app. Now, it's supposed to come with a feature that can help users track their spending and their rewards. Apple would reportedly get bigger fees from every swipe you make with that card. Well, the year 2024 will be the time to just, hey, pump up the jam, turn it up, because this dance could be making a comeback actually at the Olympic Games. And we're talking about breakdancing. Now Zandy Taylor showing us what you need to know if your dream is to bring home Olympic gold for just doing the worm.
All right, it's time to break out the cardboard and practice your moves. The International Olympic Committee is actually looking into whether to include breakdancing in the Olympic Games. It wouldn't be the first time that we see breakdancing at Olympics, though in 2018 it was included in the Youth Olympic Games in Argentina. Countries like Russia, France, Japan, and South Korea, they all placed. So if this does become an official Olympic sport, the U.S. really needs to train for it. A decision on breakdancing won't happen, though, until this coming December. Some of the sports that the IOC is also considering to include in the 2024 games: surfing, climbing, and skateboarding. Now, they're already approved for the 2020 Tokyo Games. Surfing's pretty cool to watch, but breakdancing, come on. That's pretty awesome, Chris.
You got to have some moves, got to be an athlete to do it.
Right? And
yeah.
Since we're on the same topic, I want to point out, Chris, there were competitions in tug of war and pigeon shooting in the past.
All right.
So there was also ski ballet. I think that was back in the 80s.
I'll tell you something. If you need just a little YouTube watch, go down a deep hole on YouTube, ski ballet, just Google it. I highly recommend it.
I think that you should try out for breakdancing in the Olympics.
Bring it back to the high school days? No, I didn't. Wasn't my move. All right. Annie, thanks. And people across the country have been targeted because of their natural hairstyles. Just take a look at some of the examples right here. And now for the first time, there will be a policy banning hair discrimination. We're going to look into the impact of that tomorrow here on The Now.
Well, in the meantime, we are talking about back here at home, this storm finally almost being done here in Kern County, and temperatures may be warming up.
I know, exactly. They are as we head into the weekend, just squeezing out the last bit of precipitation from this system. Light rain into Hatchpee at this hour, but by the time 10, 11 p.m. rolls around, those skies are going to be clearing, and we are tracking a freeze warning here in the valley. But look at this, up to 61 degrees by Sunday, and actually by next Friday, potentially 70.
I can't wait for that. I'm looking forward to the warmer temperatures. That's going to do it for us on The Now Bakersfield. We'll see you back here tonight for 23 ABC News at 11.